Oh, if you got a minute out, we hadn't. You pick up the paper you're reading. You missed one of the most interesting things. We had the Ray Conniff Singers, and before as they came out on the stage, one girl with the hair down to her waist. They're about 16 singers, and they're all pretty girls and nice-looking guys and so forth. The Conniff Singers are kind of square types of it. She stepped out in front of them, I mean, to the shock of everybody, and hung out a homemade sign on cloth saying, "Stop the killing." And she says, "Mr. President, stop the killing. If you believe in Jesus Christ, stop the killing of men and animals and children and Vietnam." And she said, and then she said, "God bless Daniel Ellsberg. God bless the Berrigan brothers," and then stepped back. Well, you can't imagine the shock. You remember the Eartha Kitt thing?
Are you serious?
Yeah. You read it in the Post this morning, and even there, it's and the audience. Well, then what happened is, poor Ray Conniff came out and they had their first number, and there was icy coldness. Nobody in that crowd. I clapped, of course, but very few. And Conniff says, "I just want you to know that I didn't plan that first to act," and he says, most of us are proud to be here at the White House, and so forth. And then somebody in the crowd, I think it was old Jack Mulcahy, says, "Well, then act like it." And then somebody else back in the room, to my utter amazement, said, "Throw the bum out, throw her out." And then several people said, "Throw her out." So Conniff on his own asked her to leave, and she left.
You don't mean it.
This happened at the White House last night. Now, you tell Nellie what you missed.
That's the damnedest thing.
But can you imagine, I asked Manolo, about it. I always he's my man to check. I said, "Manolo, what do you think?" He said, "I heard it about in the 7 o'clock news." Now, this you can pass to Nellie, but clean it up a little. The Spanish have wonderful profanity, and she says she's an hija de puta, and I know what that means. That means a daughter of a whore.
Uh-huh.
And he says, "No, she's worse." She says, "Muchísima puta." She says, "A great big whore." and he said she acted like a streetwalker. Isn't that interesting?
Really,
but I don't know what the heck they're coming to. But
well, that's the damnedest thing I ever heard of.
Yeah.
Nellie just threw the paper down, and he said, "Tell the president it's a good thing I wasn't there." Said I would have personally taken her on, and said it would have been embarrassing.
I'm telling you, several of them were ready. But
and
so I just sat and smiled. And I did one thing at the end. I think you appreciate. I didn't pay a bit of attention. Of course, I couldn't. And at the end, though, I walked up and thanked Ray Conniff, and then I turned to the other girls and I said, "We were so enjoyed your music, and it's always nice to have our music look so pretty, because they were pretty girls." Then I turned to the audience and I said, "We hope that Ray Conniff will have great success in the next 50 years as the Swedish Digest has in the last 50 years." And then it says, "In thanking him and his very fine orchestral group, I know, too, that because the Marine Orchestra had played the accompaniment, that all of us would want to express our appreciation and our thanks to the fine Marines who have played accompaniment, most of whom have fought for America in Vietnam." Boy, the place came apart.
So
I had a little confrontation, John. But what do you think? Of course, I was worried, John, about Conniff ordering her out, and I almost got up. I told Pat later, almost got up to think maybe I better stop him. But I was afraid if I tried to stop her that I didn't know the whole group. I thought maybe the whole damn group was going to walk out, but they didn't. All of the rest of them were in tears and they were apologetic because she's not a regular member of the group. They were one short, and he brought her in.
Well, I'll be damned. No, I think that's all you could do.
You wouldn't have stopped her from being thrown out.
No.
See, Conniff threw her out. We didn't, but he invited her to leave.
Well, that's fine.
But they
I think that's fine, because if you hadn't, I think the whole thing would have really fallen apart.
Oh, it would have. The
audience would have been icy throughout the performance. They wouldn't have applauded for anything.
Oh, it was awful, that first number. Awful.
And
well, anyway.
I must say, I'm astounded.
Now, you give Nellie a little. Tell her about Manolo's swear words. That'll cheer her up. Okay.
All right, sir.
Okay. Well, get well.
Are you going to go up to Camp David?
Well, I'm going to stay here today till about noon, and.
Really, in town, isn't he?
He is. He was here tonight. Oh, he was there. By golly, yes. And Billy and Ruth both.
Called him this morning.
Yeah, yeah. And I wish you would, because he's here, and there was quite a gang. Bob Hope was there, and he spoke. And we really had a gang. Billy spoke. Norman Peale did. And it was a good old time religion.
Well, I'm sure sorry we missed.
Well, anyway, you just take care. Take care now. You and Nellie, and tell her, we're all ready for that big party in Texas. Incidentally, on that, we do not have to worry about the date of the Latin thing, because Rogers, in checking with those fellows, found that they would prefer to come to Washington. So that leaves us completely open. And so what I would like for you all to do is to pick the date that fits your weather the best.
All right, that's great.
And if it's, Nellie was saying May 1st, but if April 15th or May 15th is better, we can do it any time.
No, if we push it, it'll be toward the 1st of June.
In other words, it gets better later in the year. Well, that'd be better for us, actually, because as we get, then we're a little closer to Moscow, and everybody will be in an up, it'll be nice to talk to the folks a little about the trip and so forth. So you'd rather have it the latter part of May rather than the... Good. All right, we'll hold it.